Some time later, Samson fell in love with a Philistine woman named Delilah, who lived in Sorek Valley, near to Samson's hometown of Zorah. The Philistine kings went to her and said,
"Trick Samson into telling you why he is so strong, and how we can overpower him. Tie him up, and make him helpless. Each one of us will give you 1,100 pieces of silver."
So Delilah said to Samson,
"Please tell me, what makes you so strong? If someone wanted to tie you up and make you helpless, how could he do it?"
Samson answered,
"If they tie me up with 7 new cords that have not yet been dried, I'll be as weak as anybody else."
So the Philistine kings brought Delilah 7 new cords, and she tied Samson up. She also hid men in one of the inner rooms of her house. Then she shouted,
"Samson, the Philistines are coming."
But he snapped the cords, just as thread breaks when fire touches it. So they did not discover the secret of his strength. Afterward, Delilah told Samson,
"Look, you've been making a fool of me and not telling me the truth. Please tell me how someone could tie you up."
He told her,
"If they tie me with new ropes that have never been used, I'll be as weak as anybody else."
So Delilah got some new ropes and tied him up. Then she shouted,
"Samson, the Philistines are coming."
The men were hiding in the inner room. Again he snapped the ropes off his arms like thread. Then Delilah said to Samson,
"You're still making a fool of me and not telling me the truth. Tell me how someone could tie you up."
He told her,
"If you were to weave the 7 braids of my hair into the fabric on your loom, and tighten it with the loom shuttle, I would become as weak as anyone else."
So while he slept, Delilah took the 7 braids of his hair and wove them into the loom. Then she tightened it with the loom shuttle. Once again, she shouted,
"Samson, the Philistines are coming."
But he woke up and yanked his hair loose from the loom and the fabric. Then she pouted,
"How can you say you love me when you don't share your secrets with me? You've made a fool of me 3 times, and you still haven't told me what makes you so strong."
She kept on asking him, day after day, and he got tired of her nagging. Finally, Samson shared his secret with her.
"My hair has never been cut, for I was dedicated to God as a Nazirite from birth. If my head was shaved, my strength would leave me."
Delilah realized he had finally told her the truth. So she sent for the Philistine rulers.
"Come back one more time, for he has finally told me his secret."
The Philistine rulers came with their money in their hands. Delilah lulled Samson to sleep with his head in her lap. And then she called in a man to shave off the 7 locks of his hair. Samson began to weaken and his strength left him. Then Delilah cried out,
"Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you."
He woke up and thought,
"I'll get loose and go free, as always."
But he didn't realize God had left him, and he had lost his strength. He was powerless, so the Philistines captured him. They gouged out his eyes, then took him to Gaza, chained him, and put him to work, grinding grain at the mill in the prison. But before long, his hair began to grow back. The Philistine rulers held a great festival, offering sacrifices and praising their god, Dagon. The temple was filled with people. They sang,
"Our God has given us victory over our enemy Samson."
The half-drunk people demanded.
"Bring out Samson so he can amuse us."
So Samson was led from prison so they could jeer him. Samson said to the young servant who was leading him by the hand,
"Place my hands against the pillars that hold up the temple. I want to rest against them."
All the 5 Philistine rulers were in the temple, and there were about 3,000 men and women on the roof of the temple watching the activities. Samson prayed to the Lord,
"Sovereign Lord, please strengthen me just one more time. Let me pay back the Philistines for the loss of my eyes."
With his hands on the 2 central pillars that held up the temple, Samson pushed and pushed against them. He prayed,
"Let me die with the Philistines."
The temple came crashing down on the Philistine rulers and all the people. So Samson killed more Philistines when he died than he had during his entire lifetime. Later his brothers and other relatives went down to Gaza to get his body. They took him back home and buried him between Zorah and Eshtaol, where his father, Manoah, was buried. Samson was a judge of Israel for 20 years.